Today is May 30th, 1996, and our survivor is Freda Bergman. What do you think gave you the strength to survive?
I don't believe that anybody had any strength or any wisdom or anything. I think pure luck. You have to be at the right place at the right time. If you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, no matter how smart or gifted or connected or whatever you were, nothing ever helps. As my husband says, that the Rebbe said that everybody who survives the two Maluchim, watching him, and I intend to believe it, because there is no logical explanation in any way. We have seen people that were smart and rich and, I say, well connected, not making it, and others who were humble and didn't know anybody and were poor and ugly and stupid, and they made it.
What comes to mind when you think of the Holocaust?
I try not to think of it. I mean, for many years I tried to block it out in order to be able to live a normal life. And I also didn't like to talk about it. I always felt that it was not, I said it was in a way. I mean, we didn't choose it, but we were put in a position where we were demeaned and humiliated. And I don't like to think of myself in that position, so I try not to think about it.
When were you first able to talk about your experiences?
Took me a long time. As you get older, and of course we all have nightmares.
Can you tell me about them?
And I always feel that I have to run away. I always, for many years after I was liberated, whenever I entered any place whatsoever, I always look whether it has another exit. You know, unconsciously, I looked, is there another door so I can run away? And, but now I don't have it. Now that I grew out of it. And of course, I always feel that I dream that I have to hide and I am not safe. Sometimes I'm hiding with my children, and I know that when I was supposed to hide, I didn't have any children. And then I wake up and I'm so relieved. In your dream, you combine things that are not connected in time. Sometimes I feel I'm running away, I'm rolling down the hill, and then I wake. Sometimes I scream, and my husband wakes me. But consciously, I try not. I block it out.
What advice do you have for your children, grandchildren, future generations?
I really, as I said, I'm not philosophically inclined. I live by the minute, not even by the day. And I don't know whether it's a result that at a young age I was put in a situation where there was no future, or maybe I'm naturally, my psyche is built that way. I didn't give them any advice. I never gave them any advice. I always felt that by now they're grown up. The grown-up people make their own lives, and the best advice is never listen to anyhow.
Do you have a message you'd like to deliver to the world?
Messages delivered to?
To the world.
I see all these things happening all over again. Nobody gives a hoot. Like they killed us, nobody gave a hoot. Whoever, they killed the Serbs, the Croatians, the Cambodians, whatever. If you're caught in it, it's your bad luck. And I think as long as humankind will exist, this will exist too. I don't think it can be prevented. It's your bad luck to be caught. That's it.
Thank you.
I think no amount of talk or advice will make any change at all. Pessimistic view.
Thank you on behalf of the Shoah Foundation.
This is a picture of my mother's maternal grandfather, Avram Yankel Hammerman, who came to America by the turn of the century. So must have been made sometimes 1910 or 1912 or something like it, because I see that my mother's uncle, Oscar, is already quite grown up. So the other man is Oscar Hammerman from Toledo, Ohio.
Where was this taken?
It was taken in New York, on the Lower East. He lived on the Lower East Side.
Now, who was on the right?
The right is my mother's maternal grandfather, Avram Yankel Hammerman.
On the left?
On the left is one of his younger sons, Oscar Hammerman. This is a group picture of my mother's family taken before 1913, because my Aunt Lotte, who was born in 1913, is not on it. The one that you're showing now is my mother, Blima August, at the time. The next one is her sister, Sarah. The next one is her sister, Chaya. This is her sister, Reisel. This is her father, Wolf August. This is my mother's paternal grandfather, Beryl August. This is my mother's grandmother, Tauberochel August, born Wachtel. This is my mother's stepmother, who was also a cousin, Yenta August. This is my mother's brother, Shmuel August. And this is my uncle, Mark August.
Where was this taken?
It was taken in Boryslaw. That time it was still Austria. I don't know what the occasion was. This is my father's family, the Hammermans, taken in Boryslaw in 1928 on the occasion of my Aunt Rachas leaving for Canada. The first one to the left is my uncle Moshe Harper. The second, he was my father's brother-in-law. Next is my father's sister Heike. Next is my father Moses Hammerman, or Moshe Hammerman. Next to him is Recha Hammerman, who went to Canada, was the occasion, was the reason for that picture. Next to her is my Aunt Bella and Uncle Willie. Uncle Willie also went to Canada. This is my mother, Blima Hammerman. That's me, Freda Hammerman, 3 years old. This is my father's stepmother, Rachel Hammerman. This is my Aunt Hannah Harper, born Hammerman, and her little girl, who was also named Frida, after the same grandmother. The two of us were called Frida. I was called Big Frida. I was 3 years old. And she was 1 year old. She was called the Little Frida. Frida in itself means Little Frida. So I was little Frida. And I was the big little Frida. She was the little Frida. This is a picture of the August family taken in Boryslaw in 1931 on the occasion of my grandmother, Yenta August, leaving for America. This is my father, Moshe Hammerman. First to the left. Second is my uncle Shmuel August. Next to him is my Aunt Zlata August. Next to her is my Aunt Bella Hammerman, who was my father's sister, but who was engaged to my Uncle Mark, who was my mother's brother. Next is Uncle Mark. This is my Uncle Kassir Greifinger, who was married to my Aunt Chaya. This is my Aunt Chaya Greifinger. These are her children, Vilek and Losha Greifinger. This is Uncle Nathan Hammerman, who came from America to marry my grandmother, Jenta August, and took her to America in 1931. This is Jenta. This is my brother Henry, or Henrik, or Henrik. This is my mother Blima, and that's me, 6 years old. This is me, Freda Bergman, at the time Frida Hammerman, 6 years old, taken in Boryslaw. These are my parents at their wedding in 1924 in Boryslaw. My mother's Blima August, and my father's Moshe Hammerman. This is Freda Hammerman on the day she was supposed to be shot. The picture was taken on June 24th, 1943. I was walking to the photographer to have this picture taken at the risk of my life because I needed it for the piece of paper that was supposed to mean life together with the R. This is the so-called R, or R in Polish. It stands for Rüstungsindustrie, which means armament industry, which we were supposed to work for. They had the people that ran our camp that had permission from the Gestapo to keep several hundred Jews occupied. And there was the stamp of the Gestapo visible, and they used to get a permit for 1 month, and every month they had to renew it. Whenever Director Bice, who was our boss, whenever he went to Berlin to have it renewed, everybody was working on tenterhooks. And when he came back, everybody was happy.
What were the holes for on the top of this?
But the holes were, since it was equivalent, the loss of an R was equivalent to losing your life if you didn't have it. We had it, and it was a flimsy piece of material. We had it in the camp. They had a sort of a workshop where they had tin and other things, and they framed it in tin and made 2 holes so we can put through safety pins through it, and at that we had to wear it all the time. So one safety pin could open and you could lose it, so it has 2 holes, so we could attach it with 2 safety pins for security. I could see 28 before.
What is this?
28.
What is this picture?
This is a picture, this is the picture of my R. Since the amount of Jews that were supposed to live was limited, each R was numbered, and my number was 28. This is Freda Bergman after arriving in Germany in 1946 in Ulm an der Donau. This is my son's bar mitzvah. Since we had the bar mitzvah in the hotel on Shabbos, we didn't take any pictures. We had the photographers come to the house and take some pictures of the family. The first one standing from the left is my daughter Hannah Bergman. Next is myself. Next below, this is my son Henry Bergman. This is my husband Moshe. This is my daughter Razi Bergman. This is my grandmother. To the right is my grandmother Jenta August Hammerman. And to the left is my mother Blima Hammerman. And it was taken in January 67. This picture was taken in our house in the Bronx in 1981. And the picture is, it's a Shabbos in our house. And we have here my mother, Blima Hammerman, the first one to the left. Then I am Freda Bergman holding my granddaughter, Toby Bergman. Next one on top, next to me is my daughter-in-law, Rivka Bergman. And the young girl there is Shira Rubenstein, my cousin's daughter. There is my daughter, Hannah Bergman. There is her future husband, Israel Teubman. The little boy is Shapsi Bergman, and that's my husband, Marsha Bergman. And this is a needlepoint I made on blank canvas. I copied a watercolor, but Max Pechstein called The Harbor. This is my husband, Marsha Bergman. We have been married for almost 50 years now. We have known each other since my birth because we have been neighbors in Boryslaw. We have survived at the same time, same place, even though we were not together then. But we have the same memories of the same people. We remember all the neighbors. Sometimes we sit down and we go house by house in our neighborhood to remember the people that did not survive.
Now, as I said before, and on my tape, that I have been very Hasidish, and it wouldn't be proper for me to know even the girls in the neighborhood. So of course I didn't talk too much to girls. If I would know she would be my wife, I would have. But I didn't know then. So Baruch Hashem, time passed. We met in Germany, where we got married, we raised a family, and we hope to Hashem to give us a healthy
Old age.
and old age. And
That's
nachas from all our children. That's all what everybody wants. And we wish it to all our friends, and we pray for that too.
Yeah, and as I always say to my doctor, he says, how are you? I says, aging gracefully, I hope.
Thank you.